Hello, it is Phil. It is day one of the fast. It is 11:11 p.m. on Sunday, October 1st, 2023. First day's been okay. I did make myself one hot chocolate. Had a little stomach issue, and that sort of calmed the stomach down a little bit. I feel a lot better. Drinking a lot of water. But I haven't eaten anything since yesterday. I've got a video coming of what I ate. I was at the track last night, and I ate around, I guess, 9 o'clock, hamburger and fries and a unsweet tea. And I think I had an ice cream from that Joe and Dough place there. Yes, I think that's the last thing I had. I had the ice cream, and it was really good. But that was it. And then it's just been water and tea and coffee and, just that. So today, I kind of was so mad about last night. I really just pissed away a bunch of money, and I turned on my computer just to watch a little YouTube. And I've got two computers here that are old, very old. I got a Gateway, which is a wonderful computer, and I got it used, and it was a refurbished computer. And I should have bought two at the time because I bought it for my wife, and it was such a good computer. And I just dragged my ass, and instead I bought this Acer from Walmart, which has a Pentium in it, just a straight Pentium computer chip in it. Acers are great computers, but not this one. This sucker is so slow, it's been irritating me for 15 years. So anyway, the Gateway computer runs 8.1 Windows, and they don't support that anymore, and they kept sending me notices saying you gotta update, you gotta update, you gotta update. Now they were saying update to 10 at the time. Now they're saying update to 11. And of course it's a little bit of upselling. But the bottom line about this is if it's not supported, it's not updated. If it's not updated, it becomes much easier for hackers to hack into your computer, and once they get into your computer, they can get into your Wi-Fi system. If your phones are hooked up to it, they can get into that information. You just don't want that. So I've been on the prowl, and my favorite place to prowl is Micro Center Computer Store, which is in the DC areas, off of 495 in not Tyson's Corner, but around Tyson's Corner, Virginia. And I don't know if it's McLean. Anyway, it's on Nutley Road. And it is a wonderful store. It is a magnificent store. It's like Radio Shack on crack, I mean, it's absolutely wonderful. And the people there are fun. And it's a bunch of geeky people. So don't, they're geeky. They know computers, and they know how to help you, and they're buried because the place is such a great place. Anyway, so I've been, checking out Micro Center, and I've been looking at computers, and I was thinking about my operating system, and I said, if I get Windows 10, I can get a pretty good computer cheap. And because they sell refurbished laptops and desktops. I have a Dell desktop that was refurbished, and then sold to them, and then they sold it to me, which is working wonderfully for me here. That's what I post my videos with. And a desktop, unlike a laptop, is infinitely more updatable. So if I want to make it faster, I can do that. Well, anyway, then I said, you know what? They're going with a Windows 11, and I kind of want to buy something that's going to last a while, because 10 is already outdated. 11's already got 2 years on it. And they had some problems with 11 being a resource hog, but if you buy something that's built for it at the beginning, instead of trying to update one, the Windows 10 laptops tend to work great with Windows 10. And then when they update to Windows 11, depending on what the hardware is in them, it can really slow them down. And I've seen people online say, can I just convert this thing to Windows 10 because this operating system 11 is just slower than 10. And it's a function of the equipment. The equipment has to be sort of set up for 11. Anyway, so I found this laptop, which was made by Gateway, which is the same people that made the great Gateway I had for, God, I guess 10 years, 15 years, who knows. It's been my favorite computer. It's working okay, it's working great. It plays 720 definition video on YouTube, which I never knew was a problem, you know. It sort of gives it sort of a pastel paint look, you know what I mean? It's not very defined. But, you know, I mean, it was good enough to watch videos with. But anyway, so I also know about chips. I know about the latest chips. Now, there's a 12th generation i7 Intel chip in this computer I bought. And it only has 8 gigabytes of memory backing it up. But the 8 gigabytes of memory is built into the computer, into the laptop, to complement the chip. The chip is built to complement the 8 gigabytes of RAM for the purpose of the computer. And this computer was built for Walmart to sell to people as an internet surfing computer, basic email, and to do a little bit of video and a little bit of pictures on. Not to do any hardcore, very invasive work. I call it a fast and light. It's a fast and light, which means it's like when you see a Chromebook. A Chromebook is not something that you're going to be doing, you know, you're not going to be giving your Chromebook to a bunch of businesses and have them work on Chromebooks. It's not made for that. It's made for internet surfing and, you know, if you've got Facebook or whatever, you know, it's made for enjoyable pursuits. And that's what this computer's made for too. It has a 512, a half a terabyte solid state hard drive. So it's got a solid state hard drive. It's got an i7 chip in it. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, unfortunately not updatable, but I have seen online where apparently it could be updated, but I'm not really worried about that. I used my Gateway for 15 years without updating it. And I thought about it and I said, you know what, it's working okay, don't screw with what's working, right? So I got this computer, and I'll show you the box. I won't show you the computer. It don't matter anyway. I got 2 of these. And it is a Gateway 14.1 i7, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and 512 solid state hard drive with an i7 chip in it. These were originally $540. They were on sale, $240 off. Now these are metal cased. And I never knew anything about that. I said, you know, why is this $240 off and the plastic one's only $110 off? Well, it turns out that a metal case PC is supposedly more sturdy and there might be a little cooling advantage to that metal case. So it's like, you know what, screw it. They're the same price. The plastic one and the metal one are the same price. But I'm getting $240 off of the metal one. I'll get the metal one. My computers that I'm using are sat on top of a cooling, it's a triangular cooling stand, and it has fans underneath it, and you hook it to your USB and it just blows air all the time you're running the computer, and it's a little bit of extra cooling. I had that on both of my computers. God, that Acer is so terrible. I mean, I respect Acer, and I had an IBM Aptiva computer when I started in computers back in like 1998, I guess it was, or it's 1997 or something. And that thing was a piece of garbage. And this Acer, is a slow piece of garbage. And as much as I want to destroy it, I can't fault it because you can still get online in it. You know, I could still take that to I could still sit in McDonald's and be frustrated until I wanted to scream at how slow it loads web pages. But I could go on Wi-Fi and I could do that. If that's all I could afford, that would be fun. I'm thinking about taking it to a pawn shop. I'm going to clean the hard drive out, take it to a pawn shop with the power supply, and I'm going to see if I can get $10 for it or $5 for it, and just get it out of my hair, because I don't want to look at it anymore. I hate that computer so bad. Then I might go out here and take a hammer and take my camera and just let ventilate some stress. But anyway, long story short, I went and bought 2 laptops, and I just got done setting them up. And I should have done this years ago. What I should have done years ago was I should have bought some refurbished desktops, because I'm not going to be using these as laptops. Although I might, I might. All I got to do is I've got HDMI plug in them. I've got the plug for the stand in them, and I got the thing for the. I bought 2 new Logitech keyboard trays and a mouse for each, one setup for each, which is $21 at Walmart for each one. So say I got $325 in purchase value in the computer with taxes, so $350 for each one. But I'm telling you, it's like suddenly my eyes got better from diabetes. The definition, the picture is so much better. It's so much better. I can't really say that it's booting up faster. I would assume it's marginally faster than the other one. The A8 that gateway was a great computer. It is. I can say that it's definitely. First thing I did when I got it was I turned it on, and then Microsoft goes through a whole menu of things. You have to have a Microsoft account, so you might as well get one. Each computer you have has to have its own identity into Microsoft, so they're going to know what you're doing. So just don't be an idiot, Post like a common sense human being. And don't say anything online that you wouldn't say to somebody to their face, okay? And don't support positions that really, honest to God, the best thing is just don't. If you got beliefs, stand up for your beliefs in the way you live, but don't try to preach to somebody else about them, because everybody's got their own beliefs. And you'll hear me say, thank you, God, because I believe in that. But I'm not going to tell you have to believe in God. And when you hear me talk about that, I say, I'm a Christian. I want to thank you, Lord, for being in my life. If I was a Muslim, I would say, I don't want to insult Muslims, but I would say, thank you, Allah, for giving me this life. If I was Hindu, I would say, I don't know, what is it, Vishnu? I would say, thank you, Vishnu, for watching over me and my family. Whatever, and if you're an atheist, you say, thank you for the great cosmos for just slapping me here and giving me a life to live, So whatever it takes. But in any case, these 2 computers, man, so far, they've been awesome. And for $300 each, I should have done this a long time ago. I want to show you one more thing. So I told you I bought these keyboard trays from Walmart, right? And so it was missing this one key when it came out the box. This key right here, that key right there. Okay, but you'll notice it's missing 2 keys. I didn't care about that one key because that's a CTRL key right here. Control key, right? Well, there's 2 of them. So I didn't, you know what? Walmart sold the only damaged keyboard tray to the only customer who will ever keep it, because I got one over here, I don't need to. I'm not worried about that. I don't use it that much. But this right here, this caps lock button, I'm taking that off of every one of my keyboard trays. And why am I doing that? Because when I get doing my single tapping, and I'm single tapping, replying online, or I'm writing up stuff, I'm writing up stories. Every time I hit that shift, my finger hits that caps lock. And then I wind up writing 3 lines that's all in caps. And it makes me so crazy I could scream. But what makes me so crazy? I'm taking the caps lock off of every keyboard tray I use more than once. I have an on cheap keyboard tray I took to work. I took that off of that. I'm taking it off all of them. That caps lock button will never affect me again, okay? Because you can still shift up. You just held the shift button. You just go shift, hold it, and then you do your capitals. And if you want to make an exclamative statement, you just hold it down and you type whatever you're typing and let go of it, and you're good to go, Or, well, you shift, and then you let it go, I just hate that caps lock button. I always have. So anyway, very happy with these gateways so far. Things are happening, but right now what's happening is it's 11:30. I need to get my ass on the floor and get this done. So, fast is going good. We're chugging along. And I have to tell you this about fasting. I have to tell you, this is the most amazing thing about fasting. If you don't let your brain get involved in your love of food, and you can just accept. And I do what I do in lieu of food is I drink water. And I love the taste of water. I always have. But if you don't let that food demon in your head, and then one of the things that I don't do anymore, because I don't have it anymore, I don't have television service anymore. And if you're watching television, you will get hammered every commercial break with burger ads and chicken ads and these ads and pizza ads, and you just get hammered. And what it does, it brainwashes you. It makes you have an expectation of eating. It makes your brain in that loop, and you get stuck in that loop. It's subliminal. I watched it with my wife. We would go to Walmart, and she would be looking at food products. That's where in the hell did she find out about this? And then I would be watching The Young and the Restless with her, because she wanted me to record it, because we'd both be working, and she said, "Will you record it?" I said, "Sure." So she would watch her Young and Restless. I'd be on the sofa behind her, and I'd just be chilling, reading something or whatever. And I'd notice that the ads for the foods that she was looking at on the shelves was running, and she would be asleep in the chair. But they would be picking that into her head. She would be picking that up. And she wouldn't know why she was looking at the shelves and why she was looking at that ad, at that food. But they would brainwash you. So anyway, long story short, I got to get to exercises here. You get brainwashed to want food. Now I can watch YouTube videos of people competitive eating. I watch a guy named Beard Meats Food. I watch that's a British guy, and a British young lady named Leah Cleaver, I think her name is, and American girl named Katrina Eats Kilos, what she calls herself, a guy named Randy Santel, and a guy named Ben Dean. Ben Dean's funny as hell, and so is Mr. Beard. But they're all kind of funny. They all have their own niche. But I could watch him eat a huge plate of food and never get hungry, because I'm just looking at that and I'm just going, wow, man, that's just amazing. It doesn't affect me. But I don't hang out in places. You're not going to see me going into McDonald's during my fast. You're not going to see me. I'm not going to be going to places. I can tell you this. When I start my fast, I can smell every steak cooking as I'm driving down the road. I can smell every barbecue. I can smell every Italian sub that somebody's got in their hand as they walk past me. You just pick that up. Your brain and your body are working overtime. But it's pretty cool. But the number one point I was trying to make before I went off on this tangent was, as soon as you start your fast, as long as your brain is right, as long as you set your brain right, you give yourself some peace inside, and you say, okay, I'm going to do this. During that first day, as your stomach is emptying out, your intestines are emptying out, when you go to do this exercise at night, it gets much easier. Oh my gosh, it gets easier. So I'm going to get down here on the floor and show you how easy it gets. And Knucklehead was here, and she wanted to be pet. Of course, she got up in the window because she's like, this fool's talking too much again. So here we go. We're going on the floor. The No Damn Choice workout. Day 1 of the fast. October 1st, 2023. Coming in. almost at that pivotal moment. We're almost there. Thank you, Lord, for being in my life. Thank you, Lord, for being in my life. Oh, man, thank you, Lord, for being in my life. Okay, here we go. All right, we're up. We're off the floor. Please, if it's been 20 years since you've been on the floor, get on the floor and see how hard it is to get up off the floor. If it's hard to get up off the floor, please exercise. Another thing I want to say is, if you have edema, if you have swelling in your arms and your hands and your legs, two things. That swelling could be coming from one food you're eating. There could be one food you're eating that could be causing that. I ran into this with beers. I had a certain brand beer I was drinking. It was an excellent American beer. Made my legs swell up. I went on a fast. My legs went down. Went out and bought it again. My legs swelled up again. Went on, fasted 2 days. My legs went down. I bought another type of beer, a Belgian beer. I haven't swollen since. A Belgian derived beer. That's just one example. It could be something as simple as you eating a certain type of bread. It could be something as you using a margarine that's not good for you. Or eating potatoes of a certain type. You might be able to eat fried potatoes and not be able to eat mashed potatoes. Or you might be able to eat baked potatoes and not be able to touch any other type of potatoes. The whole point is, when your body swells up, it can swell up for days from the irritation of one type of food. You can eat something today, if say you're allergic to strawberries, you know, natural strawberries. Who knows? You eat the natural strawberries and for 4 days your legs are swollen. Well, if you don't know that those strawberries do that, you keep eating them every day, the swelling gets more defined, worse, and more profound. So, it all depends on what you're eating. Now, obviously, if you're eating potato chips and dip, and if you're eating, you know, stuff that's highly processed, you're asking for swelling. But, one thing I would also tell you, fasting. As soon as you start fasting, as soon as you stop eating, start drinking water, drinking teas, even, I mean, listen, I have this Swiss Miss, hot chocolate mix, has sugar in it. Don't get the stuff with sucralose in it. Don't get the cheap Nestle. It's got that poison in it. Sucralose is poison. Even that. Those are all liquids. It's not solid. It cuts your body a break. Right now, my neck feels really good, and it's going to get feeling even better. I got a thyroid issue I'm dealing with, and every time I start eating, it starts hurting. And I know what that is. It's that my thyroid's acting up. Now, I could go to a doctor and get a prescription that makes me sicker than crap, or I could change my eating habits and fast and take care of myself, which is what I'm trying to do. Now, obviously, I'm not living like a monk. Like, I'm listening, you hear this music I'm playing. I'm not living like a monk. Stella Artois is an outstanding beer. It's one of my favorite beers because it's a Belgian formula, American beer, and it doesn't give me a hangover. It doesn't make my legs swell. It doesn't make my stomach hurt. But then again, I don't drink. It's a strange thing about a beer like that is you don't drink as much. You know, you get these light beers where they're like mineral water. You get Coors Light. You can drink 12 of those and be sicker than snot the next day. But with Stella Artois, I could drink 2. You know, the real Belgian beer, there's a beer called Horsbacher, and I wish I knew the other one starts with an L. But I can drink 2 of those and be completely full and completely happy with the beer I drank. So, but in any case, the bottom line I was telling you about was, number one, if you have edema, it can be caused immediately by you eating a food that you're allergic to. And immense amounts of sugar will cause it to happen too. It happened to me with I love cheesecake. I love natural cheesecake. Edwards used to sell a frozen cheesecake at Walmart that was so good. Oh my God, it was good. And they stopped selling it. And then they started selling it again with the top of it was like, I'm about to run out of time here, so let me stop talking. In any case, sugar can, large amounts of sugar can cause swelling. Alcohol can cause swelling. But fasting. Oh, I feel so much better already. My brain is clearer. My vision's clearer. My neck hurts less. You can see how animated I am. I feel much better. And I've got a week of this. I'm in the first day. So obviously this is the honeymoon. The worst day is the 7th day. Unless you get into a stable zone. I have been in a 7-day fast and thought, you know what, I should go out to 10 or 14 days. Because I hit a median. Now the number one thing is, as I told you before when I started this fast was, you like that? When I started this fast was